Hey guys, welcome back. So we've been talking about the qualities and the attributes and the characteristics that we need to imbibe or and develop in order to make 2023 and going forward the best period of our lives ever. Competency, the sense of urgency, bias for action, etc. And here's another thing that I think it's quite necessary for us to understand, and that is, and when I say understand, I don't want you to get it twisted. When you hear it, and that is uncommon sense. Yeah, uncommon sense, not common sense, uncommon sense. Now, why the as opposed to the definition, is not really that common. And what I mean by that is that you must have probably heard the term that common sense is not that common. What I mean by that is, even though as humans we have the capacity, to think things through or to exercise judgment, most of the time, or a good deal of the time, we don't tend to do that. Now, that is not necessarily because we're foolish or want to be foolish. Some other things could happen. It could be the fact that we're emotionally disturbed. We could be anxious about something. We're not quite right psychologically, etc. And these are all valid things, because as human beings, we do tend to have things occur to us, especially when we don't expect them. But the thing about it is that the success of your life is possibly your most important consideration, right? Because it's not just success in terms of a metric, but the success of your life to be successful, right? Because holistically, if you're going to be a successful person, it means holistically the various aspects of your life must be successful, right? Whether it's mentally, financially, physically, etc., right? So even though you have those things come your way, you need to be able to be in a position where you're prioritizing sound judgment. Now, what is sound judgment is really the ability to, like I said, think things through, which sounds easy on the face of it or theoretically, but it's not quite it's not quite easy to do, especially if you're facing some other things, right? Um, and if you're the type that tends to be impulsive, you may run into some trouble. And actually, the decision, yeah, it is the consequences. Anybody can take any decision at any time. So that's not the important thing. The important thing is the consequences, because each decision has a consequence or a set of consequences attached to it, irrespective of the decision. So your job, in exercising uncommon sense, right, or in thinking things through, is to ascertain or to ask yourself a question: the decision I'm about to take, can I live with the consequences? Will the consequences of this decision have a positive effect, whether in the short term or the midterm or the long term, or a negative effect? And how does this bear on my quest to achieving success? So even though we've talked about decisiveness as being a key quality, I think what supersedes that, is exercising judgment. When we talked about decisiveness, I mentioned that not all decisions that you take will be successful, and it's really your ability to learn from those decisions that end up not being successful that it would really be part of your growth. But if you're going to enhance your success rate, I think you need to deploy a sense of judgment. Don't be impulsive. Impulsiveness can be great. You just go with the flow and you just go ahead and hit it without necessarily thinking too much. But every decision has a consequence, and where the consequences are serious, you need to take time to think through them before you decide, right? And this is something that not everybody does, hence on common sense. Um, it's a quality that needs to be developed, because we can tend to go with our emotions on lots of decisions, and that doesn't necessarily help us. We talked about, or you hear things about deciding things from your heart rather than from your head. that's the quality of thinking things through calmly versus going with your emotions when you're upset, when you're angry, when you're, there are stars in your eyes, as it were. So you need to be able to think things through, especially where the consequences of the decision have an impact on your life. So I really hope that helps. I'll be back.